Could we just kick off on Morgan's departure at the end of the season? And just from your point of view, how disappointing is it to be losing him?
Yeah, look, it's disappointing for the club. He's come through the club, through the system. He's a good young lad, and he wants to go and challenge himself at the NRL. Not a lot you can do about it, but yeah, it is disappointing. But we'll move on, and the club's in good hands moving forward. He's committed. He's told the boys he's committed to the rest of this season, and he's got a good level head on him. And he'll want to make sure he's leaving on the right foot. So it won't be a distraction at all.
Could the club have done anything else to try and keep him?
Nah, couldn't have done any more, mate. Like at some stage, guys just get to the stage where they've got an opportunity that he thinks is better for him where he's at right now and what he wants to go and try and achieve and challenge himself at. He hasn't left to another Super League club. He's always said that this is his club. So it's just but it's disappointing, but it's not a distraction, and the boys are actually quite happy for him to go and challenge himself.
I know in the statement Ian Blease has mentioned the lure of the NRL. You've obviously been on both sides of it now. Do you sense that the lure of the NRL is too strong at the moment for players over here to resist?
No, not really. We're talking about a couple of players. There's a lot of good players over here. A lot of good players that are comfortable over here too. So, look, I don't think so.
Is there an issue with the salary cap, differential though, that players can accrue more money over there than here?
Yeah, you can, but I mean you're talking about very few, aren't you? Like, I think the guys over here are quite comfortable with where their earnings are at. And like you're talking about a few.
Yeah, obviously you've got to be wanted, haven't you, by NRL clubs to be in negotiations. So, like you say, the group, quite not happy to see him go, but quite happy to see him get the opportunity in a way.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, isn't it? Like they would rather him be here and be part of this team and this club moving forward. But on the other hand, they get it and they understand the situation, and they'll support him. But I think their priority is to make sure that they continue to treat him the same, and we all do, and get the best we can out of him with his football, because I still feel like his best football's further down the track. And we started him last week, and he got out the 80 minutes comfortable, and we'll start him again this week. Against some really high quality opposition. So it's a good challenge for him, isn't it, to get himself ready.
Do you feel Morgan has the facets to do well in the NRL?
Yeah, look, he's still young and he's still developing, and he thinks the time's right now at the moment. But yeah, he's definitely got the potential to go over there and challenge himself.
On the here and now, what about the squad? How different could the team look this week for KR?
No, we're in good shape. We just finished our captain's run. There could be a couple of slight adjustments to the team. But overall, like we're pretty healthy. I'm happy with where the squad is at the moment. We're playing a good style of football where they know actually fundamentally what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. Like our missed tackle count is low. Our field position is good. Our possession and error count is good. So like a lot of the basic fundamentals and the simple things of our game, we're doing really well. The next part of it is just trying to tidy up some execution at times and ice some moments when they needed to be iced. But overall, like I think fundamentally we're at a good place, and we get a really good challenge that we're excited and looking forward to.
Mikolaj Oledzki's back in the mix. You were talking about the awkward conversation that was probably coming with Callum Watkins obviously coming to the club. Have you sort of had that conversation this week with someone?
Yeah, we have. Well, obviously, Mick comes in, someone has to miss out, so we'll see that obviously before kick-off tomorrow night. But we're looking forward to have Mick plays his 150th Super League game. So it might be a blessing in disguise, a bit of extra motivation for the boys. Him not playing last week, he'll be nice and fresh. We know these guys start really hard and fast, so that needs to be our focus. Right from the get-go is making sure that we can play at a really good level of intensity.
It is a good milestone, isn't it, for the big man? What just give us an insight into what you feel he brings to the group.
I've been really enjoyed coaching him. He's for a front row, like he's always so happy and jovial and got a smile on his face, but he can flick the switch and be nice and aggressive and forceful when he needs to. He's like physically, he's got so much to offer. He's a big man, but he can get through good minutes for you. He's fit, like he, he's got he's ripped up, what I mean? Like he's not I think he's a bit unique for a front rower. He's got good leg speed. Any of the conditioning testing, he's up there with the best of them. So look, I've really enjoyed coaching him and looking forward to seeing how he starts. And, we want to start fast for him, but he needs to lead that start for us. And, that's what we've challenged him with come tomorrow.
He's not scored a try at the same time though since June 2023. Is that bothering him or not?
Uh, it's not his job. If he can get one tomorrow, that'd be great for him, but it's not his job. He's got to lay the platform for the other guys to score tries. Yeah, I didn't know that, but it's something we can give him a bit of stick about.
You'd have thought he'd have crashed over by now. Hull KR, what is it? What is it that's got them where they are this season, in your opinion?
They're pretty reliable around everyone in their team knowing their role and their job and doing that for a full 80 minutes. And they play the same way from the start to the finish. You have to be in the game for the 80 minutes. They start fast and hard, and they maintain that. So look, we're really looking forward to the level of intensity that they're going to play at, and seeing where we're at.
Do you have to get somewhere near the Wigan performance to beat Hull KR on Friday? Do you think?
Well, we want to. That's. I've been really happy with our last month of football. Like I said, I think fundamentally, um, we know exactly how we need to play and what we're doing. We just need to tidy up some of our execution at the try line at times. But we're building a real good style of football of how we need to play. Yeah, and so we're excited about the chance of doing it tomorrow at home as well. We've got to try and get the crowd into the game for us too.
Yeah, I was going to say, how important is that home advantage on Friday?
Well, Tony, it can only be an advantage if we make it an advantage. We need to get the guys excited, our crowd excited about, how we want to play and our start and our start. Bring them into the game that way with just some real basic, um, getting on top of our basics like we have been over the last month.
Just lastly for me, Brad, you've only conceded one try in the last two games, which is obviously every club would want to have that sort of record. Has that been a gradual sort of shift in mindset and physicality, or is it just something that's coincidental at the moment?
Oh, well, I think we've worked hard, and I make no mistake, and I've said it, all pre-season, our focus was around our defence, and I think we're maybe a point or two differential, like with the points against us compared to Wigan and Hull KR. So, I think we've averaged maybe 11 or 12 points against us a game, and that was been our focus, and that's why maybe at times our attack has looked a bit clunky or suffered, but we've got to build the foundation of our performances around our defence, and through our defence, we've generated good field position. So we're happy with that, but again, we've got to do that every single week. So I was actually quite disappointed that we conceded a try last week. We probably should have kept them to nil. But we hopefully we've learned from that.
Yeah, I know we're going over old ground. We mention it every other week now, it seems. But there are fresh quotes from you in the Australian media saying you're interested in the Perth job. Separate reports saying you're set to be unveiled as their new head coach. Are you now close to a decision on your Leeds future?
You know what, James, I get you got to ask this question, but I feel like I've been honest with you guys all the way through, and I'll tell you is when I need to tell you something. I have nothing to tell you except I'm committed to the job here and moving forward for the rest of this year. I love it here. I really enjoy it. If an opportunity comes along for me, well, of course I'd have interest, but at the moment there's nothing to consider, and
Yeah.
so we're just rehashing the same stuff. we have all the way through, mate.
Yeah. Is that Perth one particularly attractive to you because of your links to that part of Australia?
Yeah, look, I've got interest in it, but there's nothing to be interested in at the moment because there's not even an announcement. Like, it's not official that they're in the competition. So, my immediate focus is right here, right now, and what we've got tomorrow, and we're excited about that. And yeah, like I said, mate, I'm not trying to be rude, but I feel like we just keep talking about the same stuff.
No,
So
you're right. Just a couple
talking
more on
about
those. You've previously spoken about leaving the club in a better place. Does that extend to helping the club identify a coach who could build on your good work there?
Yeah, look, if Bleasy wants me to, if that's what the case is, and he wants me to help me, no worries. But like I said, at the moment, he doesn't need to look for a coach. Still here.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from that, just on the off-contract players, Tom Holroyd's another one whose future appears to be up in the air. How are talks progressing on that front?
Yeah, Bleasy's all over it, and he's very close.
Yeah. Are you hopeful he will stay?
Yeah, yep. The thing is, all these guys want to stay. And they know that they've got a good tight group. They know that we're getting a little bit better each week. We know that we're still not perfect yet, and we've got a lot of work to do. But they like playing together. They like training hard and working hard for each other. There's a good feel around the club. There's good leadership from above and direction. So there's no reason from not to want to be here, mate.
Recruitment rather than retention. How active are you in going through that process? Obviously, as you're open yourself, not sure what goes on beyond the end of this season. So do you have a big say in the players that are brought in and the players that are kept, or is it just how does it work generally?
Well, at the moment, the focus is more on retaining the guys that we've got. And once that's been completed, then we'll look at, what's next from there. But, that's a big part of Bleasy's role. And, he picks my brain with it, gets my opinion. But at the end of the day, every decision that is made is what's going to be best for the club moving forward, mate.
Brilliant. And obviously there's Magic Weekend is next week. It is notoriously a time when a lot of the Australian agents do come over to have discussions. I'm assuming Bleasy will be hoping to use your contacts to get in front of some of these guys and try and get some deals done. Obviously, your connections in Australia, I think, would be able to help the club on the overseas front. I know quotas aren't necessarily a blessing at the minute, but, moving forward, 26, 27, 28, is that something that you'll be doing in the next week or so?
Oh, mate, look, haven't even thought about Magic Round, to tell you the truth. I'm more excited about what presents tomorrow, and Bleasy's got a good enough relationship with all those guys. He doesn't need my like me to help him with that. And we haven't even talked about it, mate. Magic Round next weekend. Look, he's as excited as I am about the opportunity we got tomorrow night in front of hopefully a packed stadium.
And just very lastly on Hull KR, they're going to be without the two first choice wingers, which to any team would be a blow. Tactically, how do you try and exploit that? Because both those guys, particularly Tom Davies, really strong out of yardage for them.
Yeah, well, mate, we're without 5 starting players, so like we haven't used that as an excuse or talked about it. And we're not going to change how we need to play or what we need to do. Like I've continually said today, we're right across where we need to be as a team and how the style of footy we want to play. And now we need to be able to do it against the form team of the competition and the front runners. So that's, who plays in what position for them is not of a priority right at the moment. It's what we can do and making sure that we're testing ourselves against the front runners.
You spoke, as JD mentioned earlier, you spoke about this tricky decision when Mick comes back. How tough is it going to be to change a winning team? Presumably someone that played last week and maybe the week before is going to have to drop out.
That's what I get paid to do, isn't it? Make those tough decisions. And at the end of the day, I'll have to make the decision that I think helps us win this game. Like it doesn't really matter now what happened last week or 2 weeks before that. You got to move on from those games pretty quick and on to the next one. And this is a big game. And I feel like I've picked the team that I think best gives us a chance to win tomorrow night. And then, like if depending on what happens, it'll be the same the following week. It's just a week-to-week proposition. And the boys understand that we've got, we're putting together a reasonably strong squad, and that creates healthy competition, which is probably something they haven't had for a while. So they're all on their toes. And like I said before, I don't need to use words with threats or anything like that. They just know that they need to do their job and play well, because there's someone that'll miss out and wants their spot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Considering you've got one or two first choice players out, it's not a bad situation to be in. The fact that you're having to make decisions like this, and it shows that the squad is reasonably deep, I suppose.
Yeah, like I said, the club's done a good job, mate, to put together a competitive squad. Look, we're only 9 rounds in, so we've still got a lot of work to do, and the tough stuff to come. So, but we can't look too far forward. We've got a big challenge tomorrow night that we're looking forward to, and we want to make sure that we want our fans to continue to come and watch this team play. So that's up to us.